And joining us on the phone from Glastonbury Pyramid Stage Sunday headliners The Cure, Robert Smith. Good evening.
Good evening.
And, well, a long time no speak. How you been keeping? Are you well?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, busy, but yeah, good.
And where are you at the moment? Because we were trying to plot where you were flying from, because you've been on a delayed flight from Zagreb, was it?
Yes, we played in Zagreb yesterday night, and we just landed in Brussels. We're playing the Werchter Festival tomorrow.
So you have an evening off to sort of get settled in. The crew, I suppose, are already setting up, are they?
A bit later tonight. Yeah, they let some of them on, but
Yeah.
I think it's all the festivals seem to have stretched out into kind of 5-day things now, so it's actually quite tricky to get the time to get on stage anymore.
Yeah. And how was Zagreb last night? I mean, you've played pretty much everywhere in the world, I think, really. But
weirdly enough, we've never played a show in Croatia. So it was our very first time in Zagreb yesterday, and it was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's really great.
Well, I imagine if you've never been there before, there's loads of people who have been waiting for the moment.
Yeah, that's how it felt, actually. It was like it was a huge sing-along. In fact, they sang along to songs that I've never heard a crowd sing along to, so it was actually quite bizarre, but it was great. The only downside to it was on an island in the middle of a lake, the festival, and it was I think pretty much every single mosquito in Central Europe congregated around the stage when we were on, so I'm covered in bites at the moment.
Well, you've been quite a lot of places already this year, haven't you? I noticed looking up on the website, you did a whole run at Sydney Opera House, didn't you?
Yes, we did 5 nights there playing the Disintegration album. So it was its 30th anniversary this year. I just wanted to do something, and we had a history with the Opera House. We went there a few years ago to do the first 3 albums back to back, and so it's really nice. It's just a nice venue, and it was doing something different to mark that particular anniversary. So yeah, it was good.
And what's it like reacquainting yourselves with some of the songs from Disintegration?
With Disintegration, it's weird, really, because there's only 3 songs probably out of the 12 that are on the album that we haven't played pretty much on and off throughout the years.
Yeah.
So we played around 6 or 7 B-sides and songs of the period which we'd never played before in front of an audience. So yeah, I mean, some of it felt really familiar. Songs like Lullaby and stuff, we've been doing obviously like pretty much in every show since it was released. But other songs such as the final song on the album, Untitled, I think don't think we've played that one since 1989. So it was a weird mix, actually. Overall, it was a very it was a strange experience, actually, because it was hard to perform it. Some of the songs that the ones that we'd never done before, it was really actually quite difficult to go back and perform. I don't know why. I don't know. There's a lot of baggage to do with that period of time in my life, I think.
And do songs, not necessarily those songs, but songs that come and go in the set, songs that you've fallen out of love with or left behind, do they tend to take on a new life? I imagine even the songs that you do play evolve and change meaning in some way over the years.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, I suppose, a kind of obvious thing that over a period of time, like the more stuff you've got, that I mean, our sets extended to a point where a few years ago we were playing kind of 4 hours in order not to drop songs out, And with hindsight, it was stupid, really. I wish, I mean, I was told that I was being stupid, but of course I didn't listen. Whereas now we've kind of knocked it back down again now to a much more manageable set length. So, in particular with festivals, you can't really go out and play for like 3 hours plus because everyone would leave. So it's we kind of streamlined it. So certain songs have to make way, and you kind of, I think the biggest change in me over the last maybe 20 years of performing is that 20 years ago I really didn't care what the audience did or didn't get into. It was entirely selfish. The performance was all about like what I wanted to do, how the band was. And whereas now I'm much more aware that we're playing for people. I want that, because I kind of understand now that if they're into it, it makes the show even better. We get more into it, they get more into it. It's a great kind of feedback loop. And so the show now, I think, is a much more powerful show than perhaps it was. Certainly the last time we played Glastonbury, it's a much better. It was a better band as well. It's a much better band, but yeah, I shouldn't say that, really, should I? That seems like, I mean, it was a good band that played the last time we played Glastonbury, but this is a much better band.
And this takes us back. I mean, getting onto the subject of Glastonbury this weekend. Your first Glastonbury was what, 86 or
86.
something? 86 was the first one, and then 19. I mean, I don't know what you remember of any of the
World Cup years is what I remember. Watching the semi-finals both times backstage before we went on. Yeah, it was. I can never remember the one that was the helicopter landing. It was just like complete mud from beginning to end. that was so it was memorable, but I can't remember which one it was of the three that we played.
I think 95 was my first Glastonbury, and I think that one was all right. So I imagine it might have been 90 or 86.
Yeah, it was. Although summer 90 was like, it was probably the 86 one. It might have been the very first one. It was. I suppose at the time, particularly with the first one, it's a milestone. You know, I think pretty much for every artist. I mean, even back then, Glastonbury was a thing. You know, perhaps not the thing it is now, but. It meant an awful lot for us to headline Glastonbury the first time. I think the second time we were probably a little bit too blasé about it. Also, we just changed lineups. It was post-Disintegration, weirdly enough, and the band had disintegrated, as I suspected it would. And it came a bit too soon for us. I wasn't really comfortable with that performance. And the 95 one, I think there's a number of reasons why it didn't kind of quite work for us. Although it was okay, 95, it was okay, and it was actually a really nice atmosphere. It was a really good festival, but it wasn't like a high point musically for me.
Coming on after Page and Plant and Simple Minds in 95. I don't know, how do you prepare for a festival? I mean, obviously you've done countless, hundreds of these over the years. Do you have a sort of, right, this is the routine now, this is when we'll arrive, this is the point where I don't want to talk to anyone for about half an hour? It's
funny, it's not a superstitious thing, but I found that having some kind of routine, it does actually benefit you as a performer, because you it's dreadful if something goes wrong, you have to arrive and you've got like 20 minutes. I can imagine the same for any performer in whatever walk of life, that you have a certain routine, and once you've done it, you kind of feel confident. You feel like this is gonna work. So we all try to get there a lot earlier at the festivals. I mean, that's why I love having some kind of involvement in picking the bands, so that it allows me to see a couple of other bands, which is one of the best things about playing festivals in the summer, is that I get to see some really great bands, and then you just want to go on stage and play. So it's just really that 1 hour. For me, it's just the 1 hour before we go on is just like the time that I kind of pick up a guitar and I think about what we're going to be doing, see if how many words I can remember.
And just quickly, I know I've got to ask this because all the fans will be asking the same question. I don't know if there's anything new in the set, or if there's any sign of a new Cure record on the horizon.
Yeah, well, we ran through some of the new songs, but I think I've said it once before. I mean, it's really, really slow and doomy, the new album, and we just kind of did it in rehearsal for it on the first day, and everyone was looking at each other. I knew what they were thinking, but no one wanted to say it. It's like there's no way it just wouldn't fit. Later in the year, we're going to be playing our own shows, and we will be playing new album songs in that show. I honestly think it would be a very counterproductive move to walk out on stage and play like 10 minutes of slow dirge in front of a summer festival crowd. I don't think anyone would appreciate it.
It does sound a bit Spinal Tap. I hope you like our new direction. Well, listen, I've got in the office sweepstake, I've got you down as opening with Plain Song, so don't let us down on Sunday. I have no idea what's in the set, but...
Yeah, actually at the moment there's 3 sets on the go, so right. It's just usually what happens on the day is we have a straw poll and I go with the majority, but I generate the 3 sets in the first place, so it's usually so I win either way. Can you say either way with 3 choices?
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, listen, we shall see. Even if it's from afar, we'll see you on Sunday, and best of luck with it. It'll be nice to have you back.
Thank you very much.
And so it brings it nicely round for me. As I say, first one, 95, with you on the Sunday night, and going back once again this year after a fallow year, we're back and you're on the Sunday night. So
excellent.
It's all lovely. And I picked a couple of songs. So there's the choice here, not the ones that are most often played by your bands, Push or The Only One. I like both of them. Which one would you fancy?
Yes, I think the Only One, because we haven't been playing that recently. Maybe if I hear it, maybe it'll push me into adding that into set C to see if that's an option. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only one.
Well, in the meantime, have a good gig tomorrow night in Belgium, and safe travel onto Glastonbury Sunday.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Take care. Robert Smith from The Cure. And this is The Cure to take us to Round Table then, and this is The Only One.